Okay, now the cursor is shown. Okay, so now after picking up your line command, you take your first point and then you measure a distance of 65. So try to ensure your auto is on. This is your auto mode. You left click on it. So now measure 65, 65, and then enter. So now you can see it's actually looking small. Since I'm using my mouse, I can just roll so that's to zoom it. So now that is 65. So now it's going up by 80. So 80 and then enter. So now it is also going this way by 50. So 50, enter, and then it goes up by 20. 20, enter, and then it comes this way again by 70. So 70, enter, and then it comes down by 80. So 80, enter, and then it comes this way. So also ensure that your snap is on, your object snap. So you left click on this, so you can see that it's highlighted blue now. So and it is snap on. So now you can come here to this point. So the distance from here to here to this point here, and then you can close it up here. So then escape or enter, right click and then left click. So now you can zoom it. From here to here is 35, so let's offset it by 35. So you can press O, enter, 35. So from here to here, left click here, that is 35. So right click and then left click on enter. So also you can offset it upwards as well. O, enter, 60. So from here to here, so by 60. So right click and then left click on enter. So now this meeting point here and this meeting point, you take your line command, L, enter, you join from here. So because the snap is on, that's why you have this precision. Left click here and then left click here. So right click and then left click. So now you can delete this. Select, press delete, select, press delete. So now the upper part, this curved part, from here to here, let's offset it by 36. So offset O, enter, 36, 36, and then you have it from here to this point. So right click and then left click on enter. So now this gives us the midpoint for that cylindrical space, cylindrical feature. So now you can offset to the left again by 20 and then to the right by 20. So O, enter, 20 to the left and then to the right. So now you can extend it. L, enter. From here, what is the height of that cylinder? That should be 20, 20, enter. And then to this point like this, you can see the intersection points. This is, and then you can see it's already reading 40. So like this, and then bring it down like this. So right click and then left click. So now you can press this, left click on this, delete, left click on this as well, delete. So now you also, for the internal dimension, you have offset 13. So offset to the left and then to the right, the left and the right. So right click and then left click here. So now L enter. So you can prolong this one going up. Escape. L enter again. Prolong this one going up. And then escape. So now you can select this one, left click and delete. Left click and then delete. So TR enter and then you left click here. TR is your trim command. You also left click here. So right click and then left click. So now you can remove this, select, left click on it and then delete. So now you can come here, left click on this and then you come to your properties. You come to your you come to this, you come to order and then load. So we have different types of lines. So let's choose this dashed line. So okay and then okay. So now you come here again, you left click on it, come to properties, come to by layer and then you choose dashed. Okay, so now you can see that you press escape, so you can see it. So you also come to match properties. This is your match properties, left click on it and then this is the source. If you look at your command window, it's easy to select the source object. So this is the source, left click on this. It's now asking you from the command window, select the destination object. You now left click on this. Okay, so right click and then enter. So now this is the front elevation. So now you can take your construction line XL, enter, place it here like that and then escape. So you can also offset your construction line. O, enter, let's offset it by 10. So let it go like that. Right click, enter, so you can delete this. Okay, so now XL, enter again your construction line like that. So now offset it to the right, O, enter, 10 and then left click here to the right. So now you can delete that. Okay, so we have our front elevation done. So now we can make this one bold. Let's increase the line thickness of the whole of this, so that when we have to dimension, it will not be having the same thickness with the dimension. So we come to the properties, we come to line thickness. So let's choose a line thickness of say 0.7. Okay, so it's not a thick, so you come here, come to your status bar, this is your line width. Okay, sure, it is asking you to show it or to hide it, so we need to show it, so you can see it's thick. Okay, then you press escape. So now after that we now need to draw the plan. So in drawing the plan, we can project lines from the front elevation. Okay, and project lines from the front elevation. So now you pick up your line command from this point, or you can use your construction line XL, enter like that, spacebar to repeat the previous command like that, spacebar again like that, and then coming down that way. So now you can take your offset line 10, 1, 0. So you offset this. So of course, that's where your plan is going to start. It's going to be starting from somewhere here. So now what's the width? Let's take it to be L, enter. We have a width of 70, 70, enter. And then it comes this way to this point here. It comes to this point. Or you can prolong it. You can prolong it. Escape, then TR, enter. Trim it up here. Trim it up here. Like that. So now you can also take your line command XL, or you can take your line command L, enter. From this point here, we drag this one downward that way, and then we have TR, enter, to trim up this. TR, enter, then left click on this, and then you can left click on this as well. You can also left click on this, and then you can left click on this as well. Of course, your plan is going to be in between these spaces. You can left click on this, can trim up this, can also trim up this as well. You can also trim up that, you can also trim up this. So your plan is going to be in between this. So now escape. So now, in order to draw this, L, enter, can trace, can pick up from this. It comes like this. So that's the circle. We're trying to draw the plan. Okay, so L, enter again. That will be from this point, and then we draw it downward. Okay, so now we can also get the midpoint of the circle. So now to get the midpoint of the circle, you can draw or take up our line command L, enter. Of course, you can see since the O snap is on, the midpoint is already indicated, so we trace it downward. We draw a construction line to the left like that. Okay, so now the midpoint of the cylinder here, L, enter, is somewhere here, so we trace it downward. So in tracing it downward, from here we can locate the center of the circle. So now we're going to pick C, enter. So the circle is here, the center, and then we draw it to this particular point. You can see the intersection, so we left click here. So now that is for the outer circle. For the inner circle, you can either use a radius of 13, or you can take your construction line from this point, drag it downward, construction line again, L, enter. From this point, you drag it downward. Okay, now drag it downward, right click, and then left click on enter. So now you can pick up your circle, C, enter, your midpoint, and then you take it to this point. Of course, the radius should be 13, because that's the radius of the inner cylinder, which is 13. So that's what we have just done there. Okay, so now the plan is looking a bit rough, so you can just take your clean command, TR, enter, TR, enter, TR, enter. So now you left click here, you also left click here, you can left click here. So to make it neat, so you trim up all this unwanted lines. So after you're done with that, we also need to position the wedge. Okay, so this is the wedge. You take your line command, L enter. From this point, you drag it down like that. Okay, so now L enter again. From this point, you drag it up to the, towards the left. So now you can offset. The wedge is having a thickness of 14. So you have O, enter, 7, enter. So to the left or up and then down. So now you can pick up your trim command, TR, enter. Then you trim up this, trim up this, trim up this. You can trim up this inner one as well. So with this, we are done with the plan. So now let's remove all these unwanted parts. So work is neater. So now you can equally trim up this, Okay, so now escape, and then come to your merge properties. This is the source. So bolden this, this, and then this. So you can escape. So come to your merge properties again, and then you come here. This is the short dash line. That's for the, okay, this should also be bold. It's not like that, it should also be bold. So escape, come to your merge properties. Since it's a plan, so it's going to be like this, and then like this. So now we have done the front elevation, and we've also drawn the plan. So now we're left with the side elevation. So this is the front elevation, this is the plan. So now to draw the side elevation, we have to set your polar tracking, set it to 45 degrees. So after which you can pick up your ray command, come to your draw toolbar, your ray. So you come to the center point here, and then you can see it's already on 45. See it's 0. Look at the angle, polar angle 0. So as it's shifting like this, once the line turns green, that is 45. 90. Once it turns green, another 45, another 90, another 45, 90. So now 45. See it's green, so that is 45. You now left click. So now escape. So now we have to draw our side elevation. We can draw it here. We can also draw it here, but let me draw it here. So that's why I have this line at 45 degrees. So I can project lines from my front elevation, L enter, can project lines like that, L enter, L enter, and then I can also project lines from my plan. So let it meet the inclined line, L enter again. So now from this point of intersection with the inclined line, this inclined line, you left click L, and then you drag you move upward with your line command. So the same thing, L enter, you left click here, and then you move upward, and then left escape. So now you can trim up, TR, enter. So you trim up this, you trim up this, you trim up this, you trim up this, you also trim up this, you also trim up this. Of course, you can see this line comes this way, it comes this way, and then this inner part comes this way and comes this way. So from here, from the plan as well, it comes like this, and then from the upper part it also comes like this. So you know your side elevation is going to be in between this place here. So it means you can also trim up this. You can trim up this, trim up this, trim up this, trim up this as well. So now you can take your line command, L enter, from this point like that, escape, L enter again, from this point here. Okay, so now you pick up your line command again, or your trim, TR, enter, trim up this, and then you can also trim up this, trim this up, trim this, and then that. So you can also trim up this like that. So right click and then left click. So L enter again, and then you can take up the midpoint here, from here to this point, left click. So now the wedge, of course, it's already having a thickness of 14. So you can take your offset, O, enter, 7, enter, 7 is already there. So offset it to the left, offset it to the right. So that's one way where you can do it. Or you can come here, L, enter, you drag it, left click here, take it to this point, left click, L enter again, from here you take it to this point, and then you can then take it up like that. Okay, L enter, from here and then take it up like that. So that's another way you can do it. So the combination of the lines you trace from your plan, your front elevation and the plan, will eventually give you the side elevation. So it's either you transfer the lines, all the lines from this point here, you transfer it to this inclined line, you now transfer them up. Or since you already know the measurement from the given diagram, from this point you can trace out the diagram. Okay, for the circle now, for the circular part, so you can trace this one here, left click here, after taking your line command, take your line to the inclined line, and then you take it upward, left click somewhere there, right click and then left click. So L enter again, escape. After you have escaped, after escaping, L enter. So you pick up from this point again to this inclined, left click here, and then you take it up like that. You can see, so from that circle we're able to get this cylindrical part up here. So TR, enter. So you trim up this, trim up this, trim up this, trim up that, and trim up this as well. Okay, that's for the external part of the circle. So escape. So now L enter again, you come here. For the internal part, you left click here, you drag it to the inclined line here, you left click here, and then you take it upward again. So you can left click somewhere here. So that's the internal part. Escape, and then L enter again, you come here, internal part, left click, and then you take it to meet the inclined line here, left click here, and then you take it upward left click here and then escape. So TR, enter. So trim up that, you trim up that. Okay, so you can also trim up this, you trim up this, and then escape. So of course you can delete this line, so your work is not rough. You can delete this line, you can also delete this line. You can trim up this, this, and this, and this, and then you can trim up all these ones here. You can trim them so your work is neater. Okay, so now the same thing applicable. You can trim up these ones here. So now you can also trim up this, you trim up this, and then you trim up this as well. Don't need this, don't need this. So this for the wedge. Okay, so now obviously you can see the side elevation is out, then you escape. So now you can take your match properties and then from this point to this point here, we want it to be thin because it is thin, and then from to this point as well. Okay, so now let's trim this. So now let's choose dashed line here. After that, match properties, source, match properties, left click. So this is the source, this is the destination. So this is another destination, this is another destination. Okay, so now you can press your escape and pick up your match properties again. So this is the source, let's pick a source. So we have this, like that. So now you can escape. Okay, we also have TR enter. This is another place we also trim. This place and then this place. This place and then this place. So to make the work neater, let's clear up all these places. Those are the construction lines. So the work is neater. So after this, we can now put in escape. You can now put in your dimensions.